Hello guys, welcome to day 2 of 21 Days of Joy. In case you missed day 1, this is our 21 days of journaling. It's our 21-day journaling challenge to help you access the joy of journaling, and it's called 21 Days of Joy. I've made it sound a bit complicated. But anyway, here we are. We are writing our life right, one journal prompt at a time. Get your journals out, write today's date, write down one thing you're grateful for that happened or that you thought about or that you saw or that you experienced today or within the past 24 hours. So write one thing you're grateful for. So for example, mine would be that I had a really good conversation earlier and actually yesterday. So the way that I would start my journal entry today, and I'm going to, is today I am grateful for good conversations, especially because I can get such anxiety about conversations and phone calls and put them off, and there's no reason for it. So you can write something you're grateful for. Also, if you feel led, write where you are. I'm currently in Pennsylvania. Who knows where I'll be next year? So it will be great to look back on this and see that when I was going through this, when I was feeling this, when I was grateful for this, I was in Pennsylvania, and it can give me a little bit of nostalgia as well and throw me back. That's not a must-have if you're going to be in the same place every day. Also, I want you to write down how you're feeling. So how you can start this, you can have sentence starters, as you would have seen in the booklet if you've got it. And if you haven't got the booklet, then let me know and you can just click the link in my bio on my story and join the orange room where the booklet is. And there's a section where you write down how you're feeling. But if you haven't got it, just write down, how am I feeling? And it's so important to check in with yourself and not just be living life on autopilot. So write down how you're feeling. Now, for the prompt. Today's journal prompt is, you don't have to write the whole prompt out, but it's good to. The prompt is, what brings you the most joy? I want you to think about that. It could be a list of 10 things. What things come to mind when you think about things that bring you the most joy? Is it your children? Is it your art? Is it lying down looking at the stars? Is it eating spaghetti? I don't know. What brings you the most joy? Write down everything that comes to mind. And also, what I want you to write is, how can you make time for that thing? Or at least a few of the things if you've written loads. If you have just written one or a few, then this might be a time for you to actually get creative. Because if I'm saying what brings you the most joy and you say writing brings me the most joy, or reading brings me the most joy, or talking to my cousin brings me the most joy, and I say now you've got to write down how you can make time for those things, it's not that hard to make time for reading, for writing, and for giving your cousin a call. But if, for instance, one of the things that brings you the most joy is sitting in a restaurant with your sister, or going to the cinema with your partner, or traveling, going on holiday, for you to try to write about and think about ways that you can make time for those things, and having the restrictions in mind, you have to get a bit creative. So as an example, with just the ones that I've said, if it is going to a restaurant with your sister, you could maybe think about a restaurant you like going to with your sister, and you can write this down. You can action it later. I do want you to action these things, but if you just write it down, it's good enough. It's a great step. So if, for instance, you miss going Wagamama with your sister, you can look online at Wagamama, or look up the recipe or the meal that you like, find a recipe for it, learn how to cook it at home, or get your sister to. And if you live together, great, you can try and have a night where you create a restaurant ambiance at home. And if you don't live together, you can actually do a funky FaceTime date with them. So that's a creative way to find space for something that gives you joy. If you like to go to the cinema with your partner, you can create a movie night at home. If you live with them, make it really cinema-esque. Go to the store, and get, did I just say store, not shop? I need to chill out. Just because I'm in America, I need to chill out. Store. You go to the store, you go to the shop, and you get, you get your popcorn and all that, and pick a film on demand, what you can watch together. You know, you get my drift. And this one may be a bit harder, but if you like going on holiday and traveling and you can't do, you know, anything of the sort right now, then think about what you like to do when you're on holiday or when you're traveling, and try to recreate those scenes. I know that, you know, the sunside and the beach isn't going to be able to happen, but you can get creative with trying to tap into the things that you enjoy the most about traveling, and finding ways to incorporate it into your week, the week coming up, or the weekend coming up, the weekend we're in, sorry. So I just gave a couple of examples of things that came to mind, but you write down, this is your prompt, write down what brings you the most joy, and then follow it up with how you could make extra time for that. And then also write how you could either recreate that or make time for that. And yeah, as I said earlier, think about actioning it. Think about making time for things that give you joy. That is the purpose of this prompt. I want you to be able to get creative. I want you to be able to make the most of your environment, especially if it's, you know, the restrictions are making it feel almost impossible to. And I want you to be able to give yourself that uplift, that, you know, if it's something that gives you joy, then tap into that joy. I know it can be a lot harder to do so when you feel like you're not in control of everything or anything, but joy is at hand. So, I'm repeating myself now, and this video is long, and I said I wouldn't do any more long ones after the first one, but I hope this brings you joy and gives you some amazing ideas on how to keep your soul uplifted. Sending you love, and see you tomorrow for the next one.